Good evening, my fellow Americans. Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is in fact Monday, May 24th, 2021. I'd like to say good evening to all my viewers, those of you already logged in. If it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert DuVernay Show. Well, this evening I'd like to say a wonderful good evening to all my viewers, those of you who are loyal to this show on a regular basis. If it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., there's no place else to be but at the Robert DuVernay Show. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have a wonderful show. We'd like to delve into a few topics. The news has been somewhat busy, to say the least. Yet we try to stay above the fray. And we're living in a society whereas the news is so rampant, you just have to keep your sanity. Otherwise, you know what else. But they may be looking at some other things, but I'd like you to call them, let them know that the Robert DuVernay Show is live. If it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert DuVernay Show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'd like to take care of some housekeeping work here. As you know, tonight is the Monday preceding the last Monday of the month of May. The month of May has been a gracious month for the most part. We are privileged. We celebrate Mother's Day. We celebrate Haitian Flag Day, of course, which was last week. We also celebrated so many other events that has come and go. Next Monday, which is the 31st of May, will be Memorial Day. The Robert DuVernay Show will not be airing live, but I figured we're going to take that day off. But I figured I'd let my loyal audience know that ahead of time. No, it would not be on next Monday, the 31st, due to some other arrangement. I would not be in. But we will resume back the following Monday, and I pray that you come back. I figured it would give you a little break of all, and we figured we'll come back the week following that Monday and cover D-Day, the battle that the United States fought along the French in Europe some almost 78 years ago, the Normandy. So stay tuned. There's going to be plenty to talk about tonight. I'd like to give you, as you know, the Robert DuVernay Show is very gracious to its viewers. We'd like to and a colleague, a family member, let them know that the Robert DuVernay Show is live. It's a beautiful time to gather on the living room. Those of you who may be studying, I'm giving you your authority right now to take a little break and to log on to the Robert DuVernay Show, because the information that will be given out tonight will be essential, and these are things that we need on a regular basis. But and call a friend, call family members. The viewers are coming in a little slow, but I'd like at the end of the night show, I'd like to take a survey and to see what would be the best time that the viewers will be more receptive. And the viewers I have right now, but then again, it's only a sample survey, because you know what, the show was created with you in mind. So anything that we do at the Robert DuVernay Show is being done with you in mind, and we would not change the schedule unless you, the people, approve it. Is that correct? So I look forward to the survey tonight. We'll be toward the end of the last 5 minutes of the show, and I encourage you to participate, to give me some feedback and what have you learned. Has the Robert DuVernay Show been somewhat productive, or somewhat instrumental, somewhat knowledgeable to issues at our hands? And at the end of the day, we'll make adjustments that are necessary, but with you in mind. We would not do anything on this show unless the people approves it. Is that correct? Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the 1 minute I've given you is about up now. Give a moment of silence to our fallen heroes. And since we're not going to be in the next Monday, the 31st, which is Memorial Day, those of you who will be having a day off, just remember those who fought for this great nation of ours that we love so dearly. There were those who sacrificed it all. They sacrifices their lives, they sacrifices their family. Some of them joined the battlefield at the early age 18, and they fought the war, and some of them came back with PTSD. Some of them came back dismembered, for lack of a better word. Some of them did not make it home. So this Monday, May 31st, we will remember our fallen heroes in their memory. So tonight, family members of loved ones who have fallen in the war, we pay homage to you. We pay homage to your fallen heroes. We thank you. America is a better place for your loved one sacrifices. And at the Robert DuVernay Show, we are very knowledgeable of their efforts. And tonight, we dedicated this show on their behalf. And we will try to do everything in honor of their sacrifices. Again, thank you. All right, well, now we're gonna switch to the topic. Tonight we will be dealing with a topic which is somewhat been heard before, but I never know. I'm sure you probably have heard about it, but I made it the central point, the focal point of tonight's show, which is the propaganda of history. The propaganda of history. I'd like to quote a few writers, a few gentlemen I've come to admire, that I've studied during my undergrad and during my master's. Someone by the name of W.E.B. Du Bois. W.E.B. Du Bois is the one of the founder of the NAACP of 1908. I'm sure most of you who have studied African American history, you know W.E.B. Du Bois was instrumental in the creation of the National Advancements of Colored People. A National Association of Advancement of the Colored People. So W.E.B. Du Bois was always instrumental. He was, you can say, he was one of the architects behind this movement, and NAACP is still strong. They're still advancing issues that are related to minorities, both black and brown people, and it's a great initiative on the part of these great men of valor, great men that we thank God for history. We tend to admire them. Okay. Well, these are guys that you don't hear much about them unless you do some research of your own. We live in a society that encourages mediocrity, and this is a society that we live today, unfortunately. Just this past week, I'm hearing some news. To me, they're not news. I think they're noise. There's a big difference between news and noise. News has to do with something new, something that was not known prior of me tuning in, and but now I don't call them news. And those of you who are the viewers of this great show, I encourage you to be very careful of what you listen to, what you feed your mind, and because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I would hate to see my viewers, and as clever as you are, to delve into the notions of the news, the so-called news. I don't call it news, I call it noise, because it's nothing new. Reason I'm coming up with this, it's just last week I've heard a congresswoman from the great state of Georgia. If Dr. Azor is online, I hope that she can help me. And I don't know if she's her representative. I believe she's in District 2 in Georgia. She's a representative in the House chambers in the U.S. Representative Chamber. She has made quite a few noise. Okay, she has made quite a few noise, but then again, we as Americans, we deserve better from our leaders, from our elected leaders. Yet, as of late, I have not seen that happen. That comes into equation. That comes into questioning. There's a great saying which says, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." Now, I understand at the Robert DeVerney Show, we always encourage our viewers to take election very seriously. Not just the general election at the federal level, but elections at the local level. What I'm referring to at local level, I'm referring to municipalities, I'm referring to the county, the township, I'm referring to statewide elections. Those elections are very critical, and these are elections that affected us directly. Believe it or not, these are the people that who look over our water supplies. So think about it. The federal government does not tap into your water, but the local government does. So unless we're putting a focus on issues of this magnitude, we would not know who should we call. Should there be an issue? Who do we call? And I think it's a disgrace that nowadays the only time an elected official gets noticed, it's when he or she does things that are completely oblivion. Things which require someone to be off the wall, to be out of your mind. The brain sometimes wanders, and these are the things that we are hearing on TV. These are things that we're reading. I think that is alarming. I'm the generation that fall back from the old and the new. So I fall right in between. I tend to appreciate what happened in the past and how I was conducted, how I was brought up for my family, for the school I attended, and the value which were instilled in me. And growing up, the people that influenced me the most have always been my older brother, Walney DeVerney, whom I admire very much, and also my professors, teachers that I had in school. Because these were the people that I spent a lot of time with. So if I'm going to spend a lot of time with you, somehow you would influence me. So, and if you are looking at these leaders, they are the people that you watch on a regular basis. These are the people that you go to town hall meetings that you listen to. These are the people that you vote in office. These are the people, if there's something to be done, these are the people that you will contact. Now, I will only mention her name once because nothing against a woman, but I think it's a system that creates her. I'm referring to Marjorie Greene Taylor. She's from the great state of Georgia. She has been a flamboyant one in the Republican Party. Again, just for the record, at the Robert DeVerney Show, we do not take side from any political views. We here to present you the case. No one sway this show. No one sway Robert DeVerney, because Robert DeVerney is too big to be boxed in a party. So what I'm saying tonight will be covering both parties and the faults and the good deeds. So this is what I'm here to do. So the reason I'm going through with this woman I just referred to is she has been a flamboyant one in the party, and she has been getting a lot of air talking about her. And why are they talking about a woman of this character, of this pedigree? It's a simple fact that she's saying the most outrageous thing, the most heinous thing. I take issue when someone compare the last pandemic that we're dealing with right now, the coronavirus. Because for you to compare wearing a mask to Nazi Germany, I take offense to that. So I came from Haiti. I know a thing or two about dictatorship. But United States is not nothing near that. For you to compare wearing a mask to Nazi Germany, I take issues for the Jews. They're my brothers. They're my sisters. What they went through, no human being on earth has ever gone through that. For you to echo such vile thing, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to our nation. It's a disgrace to future generations. It's a disgrace to our students, those who are learning a thing or two about the Holocaust, what the Jews went through. I don't even go into details what they went through because it was so heinous. I mean, for any human being to put anybody on earth through such horrendous thing is beyond me. Her comments has been reprehensible. Yet, this is the woman that we're giving so much airtime. We're only making matters worse. Well, tonight I'm calling on CNN, I'm calling on the Fox News, CNBC, MSNBC, QAnon. You promoting these people. Just because you're giving the airtime, you're talking about their issues to me, you're doing them a service. And you're doing a disservice to the nation. These are the people that should be completely ignored. Expose them and then don't talk about them anymore. Growing up, I've learned one thing or two about someone who may have a mental issue. You know, there are certain things I wouldn't call myself a scholar, but I would let the skeptics make their own discussion about it, make their own approach, make their own criticism. Someone who has a mental issue, I would not waste my time, or I would not give that person the opportunity to delve into a conversation with them, because we're not going anywhere. Is that correct, people? Because once I go into that person, if I know what your mindset is, what you're about, and if I'm giving you more airtime, more of my time, I'm believing what you're saying. And I'm trying to convince you. How can you convince someone who has a mental issue? Just like the sense that you cannot teach old dogs new tricks. You can't. Same goes, you cannot change someone's mind when their mind's already made up and they have an agenda. And their agenda is to get notice, is to collect money, because they have to go for elections. So I want you to be smarter than this. And that's what I want from the American people, to be smarter. Now, every time a politician would take the pulpit and or even the bullhorn and making such horrendous statement, I think they don't respect you, to lack of a better word. They downplay you. They don't think you have the intellect to present such something as layman, because they use layman term. I mean, these are folks, I mean, you don't have to look up the dictionary what they use. I mean, we're not going to call any name. I mean, the 4 years we had, I didn't never have to look up a word of what the guy said. I mean, because, I mean, are you going to compare a mask, wearing a mask to prevent the spreading of a disease, to gas chambers? All right, I'll give you this. It's like comparing Ted Cruz, whom I admire a great deal. See, I admire Ted Cruz. I admire his intellect. To the former president we have. Those two intellectually. Let's say if you were to compare those two, there's a comparison. They both are men, right? They both held political offices, but yet intellectually they cannot be far away. All right, so but this was to be a little bit on the soft side of the issues. But then again, these are the things that I'd like to bring on the forefront, and I want you to think about this as we go along, because we must require more from our elected officials. Now, you, the people, you voted them in. Remember I said on the top of the segment, fool me once, shame on you, because I trusted you. All right? So fool me twice, shame on me at this time. I should have done better. Now, if I were to elect you a third time, that's pure insanity. But there's always going to be a segment of the population who find themselves into these people. I mean, you cannot go against that. Even the devil, has followers. All right. So I mean, you can't. I mean, you cannot change everybody's mind. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you go into debate. I mean, some folks aren't even worth going into a debate with them, because you're just wasting your time. Your time would have been used for better service. All right. So I think this is where I wanted to go with you on this one, and I think as Americans, as voters, as a nation, we deserve more from our public officials. All right, I think I give this segment enough of this. I just wanted to clear some smoke. It really troubled me last week, and I wanted to clear that up. Again, at the Robert Duvernay Show, we do not take side. We are very impartial. This is what the show's all about. Very impartial in our judgment, and we tend to take that route on a regular basis. Now, something got to be done. Something got to be done. Like I have a young daughter at home, and I don't even want her to watch the news. If I'm watching the news, I tell her to go away. I'm not watching any rated movies that there will be some love scenes or violence. I just don't want her, one of these public officials, to say something outrageous for her to hear that. So if we come at this point in America, then we are in deep, you know what, trouble. So let's keep these politicians honest. Let's vote those who have somewhat of a respect for the office. Because to be a United States Senator, a U.S. President, a U.S. House Representative, you representing your constituents. The people elected you to represent them. When you go to Washington, you should have these people in mind. Is that the best of you? Is that the best we're sending up there to Washington, people? If that's our best, then we need to do more. Okay, and then I have some for the other side. I want to see them doing much better. You know, there are certain issues that are irrelevant, and we had an issue with some governor in New York who was allegedly, that's a term we use, allegedly, he was allegedly charged of sexual harassment to some women who worked with them in the past. And then these are things that we keep in mind, because we want our public official to have a standard that reflect the people they serve and as a model. I think the Democratic Party should definitely ask for Cuomo to step down, and because we don't want that to be infiltrated within the party. And I encourage, I've seen quite a few who came out and who do not support his action, because then again, they are alleged actions. He should have his due process. Got to go, and that's the beauty of America. There's a system called due process, because we all could be accused of something, of a wrongdoing, but until we have our court hearing, when we have to present our case and tell the side of our story. Because right now we're hearing the other side of the story. It's time that we can hear the side of the story. Now, on the other hand, the other side just ousted the chairmanship from Liz Cheney, who was the third ranking member in the Republican Party. She's a fiscal conservative woman, very savvy, very sharp, and wanted her head on a silver platter. Not one member of the House stand to defend her because she denounced the former president as being someone who's using alternative facts and who's leading the nation into some stories that he fabricated, that the election was stolen. But because the former president is still the leader of the party, and no one wants to be challenged in the next primary. So therefore, we cannot have this woman in her position simply because she is a disadvantage to them. And then unless they do something, the former president may come and, you know what, campaign against them. No one wants that. Now I'm asking these guys, where is the backbone? Where's the value they portray as being about the rule of law? Calling the other party communists, socialists. I mean, the name calling to me is so petty. To hear public officials calling the other party these kind of names. Now, we need to do more. We need to vote these bombs out. Vote them out. You hold that power. It's like somebody's working for you and then you give them a review. You've been here for 2 years in the House. Well, we're going to get a review. The review is at the ballot box. So to do or die. So you hold the ultimate card to vote these bombs out. And we look forward to you at the next election, because America depended on you. Our leaders, our soldiers who fought the war, who will be celebrating next week, who died, they don't deserve this. This is what they fought for. They did not fight for this. Guess what? We still can get it right. We need to set standards. We live in a society, standards is somewhat archaic. Something of the past. We need to correct that. All right? Thank you. Now, it's already 29 after the hour. I've not even get the chance to delve into my main topic that I have to use for tonight. But then again, hopefully the next time we meet, my fellow Americans, we have to delve into the great propaganda of history. Just give you a little brief, since that was the main topic. But then again, I felt the need to delve into this discussion with you, because I'm sure it's in everybody's mind. And normally we don't cover international news, but I think it's worth mentioning that just last week we have a plane that was hijacked by the government of Belarus. So what happening elsewhere could very well happen here, unless this is what I would say. The reason I'm bringing this into the fold is that when you see something's happening elsewhere, it could happen here too. There's a great author who once said that men are the same everywhere. We are human beings. You think I eat chicken in America? Are the people not eating chicken? A lot of people love chicken, just like I love chicken. I love conch. I'm sure a lot of other people love conch, but we have nothing in common. It doesn't matter if they're white, blacks, Chinese, Guess what? We human. We all the same. Somehow, somewhere. So if it could happen in Belarus, it could happen here too. So now what happened is, just to give you a little recap on what happened, there's a journalist who has been uh, writing about the current government. And then the journalist was on a trip, on a commercial flight. And the regime learned of his departure. They ordered the plane to be brought back because of one person, of one individual who has a different view, who expressing himself or herself regarding the current regime. So the United States, along with the European nations, they've gathered together to sanction this leader, Mr. Anthony, if I can quote our Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. He said, "We strongly condemn the Lukashenko regime, brazen and that we think of the world. This could happen over there, not here. Remember that mankind is the same everywhere." Jim Acosta, the journalist from CNN, who his credential was seized by the former administration because he was asking the president some tough questions which were not in line of what he wanted. You know, this is a guy who wants everything to be rosy. Send him softball question. You know, what's the weather? How's the weather in Florida? You know, how's the stock market's doing? Thing has nothing to do with the current state of our nation. So unless you throw him softball questions, he may not be too pleased. And then every time you get in his way, and then if he cannot stop you from where, he will just remove your credentials. He wants no questions from you. So this cannot happen in the United States. Well, never say never. That's the reason why we need to be informed of these issues and take notes and do our part. All right, thank you so much. I wanted to close that up, and because it's very important that we stay in the fold. All right, so as long as we have those in mind, my people, we should have no problem moving forward, and the history will tell us the rest. Okay. All right. So next time we meet, which will be the following the first Monday of the month of June, which will be the 6th, I believe, June 6th. Where we'll be meeting here, and I will be talking to you about the Propaganda of History by W.E.B. Du Bois, which was shortly, he wanted to go back after Reconstruction. As you know, Reconstruction took place after the Civil War, and Mr. W.E.B. Du Bois, really a great man I admire a great deal. He's a man that I think we all should look into. As you know, the Reconstruction was done in 1865 and 1877. Just those years, we had the Reconstruction period, and it was shortly after the Civil War. But it's a show that I don't want you to miss, because there's so much I'm going to discover with you. I'm going to share with you. You would not want to miss that. So I'm giving you an opportunity. Next time we meet, I want you to tell a friend, tell a family member that, hey, the Robert Vernon Show comes on every Monday at 8 p.m. and have them to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm on Facebook as well, but I'd like all my Facebook users to shift to YouTube, and that way we can communicate and send me messages and also questions. Well, tonight I'm looking at the screen here. I didn't get any messages. I didn't get any questions at all. I'm wondering what happened to my viewers tonight. Are they asleep? I mean, tonight. Is it because I'll tell you that I'm gonna be off next week, Monday? I figured I'd give you a Memorial Day off, and then we'll catch up next time. We'll be on the 6th. And if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and close the show for tonight. It's already past 36. It's already 8:36. I'd like to see any questions. Again, like I said, next time we meet, we will be discussing the propaganda of history. As you know, this is a topic that's very dear to me, and I'd like to share that with you, and so to a great extent. Just give you a prime example: propaganda is communication that is primarily used to influence an audience and further an agenda. So this is the world we live in today. I mean, propaganda, you can see the word, when you prop something, you're giving it more than what it is. It's like I'm saying I'm the greatest host ever. Well, that's too much prop, right? Unless the only way, I may be a best interviewer or a best journalist, but then again, unless I let the critics to make that, not me. Every time I'm propping it. We live in a society these days. We have those cable news. That's all they're doing. They're propping the politician, those who share the same belief, same faith. And but we at the Robert DuVernay Show, we do not prop anything because we are loyal and we tell the thing like it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, and it's that time. I'm already past the hour here, and it's the end of our show. And I'm asking you to stay tuned until we meet again next time. I look forward to seeing you, and tell a friend that the Robert DuVernay Show comes every Monday. Again, you know, if it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert DuVernay Show. Until we meet again, happy holiday. What's coming up?